were serving iconic brands in hospitality and in senior executive roles for actually past 20 years. You have navigated, I imagine, through several major crises. How do you recall leading your teams then? And what are your insights today for all the GMs listening and tips to help them survive and hopefully thrive in these times?
Well, what a first question to ask, Zeina. Thank you. Yes, I have had the unfortunate experience in some respects of having to deal with some pretty big crises. On the other side, every crisis is an opportunity to learn something and to discover more about yourself and your colleagues. And in fact, I think the first crisis that was of a magnitude that went way beyond just service recovery was dealing with the tsunami in 2004. And in that time, Six Senses was a newish company. And we had operations in Phuket, in Thailand, and we had operations in the Maldives. And I think most people can remember that the tsunami and what a devastating effect it was. And in actual fact, our properties in the Maldives were the ones that were the first to get hit badly. I have to say, very luckily, we were one of the few companies that actually had tsunami insurance, which was remarkable. But, and that enabled us to act quite quickly and quite swiftly to get back to operations. But I think what I'd like to focus on in answer to your question is the leadership part. How do you lead when you got a crisis? And it doesn't really matter what type of crisis it is. A crisis is a point where everybody is under extreme pressure. That could be time-bound pressure, it could be political pressure, it could be psychological, it doesn't really matter. And I think the most important thing as a leader is to be shown confident to the team that you're leading. Show that you're confident, show that you are calm and able to make reasoned decisions. Communicate often and communicate effectively. And I think one of the last things you actually want to be thinking about at this time is money. More you want to be thinking about the welfare of people. And that could be your guests or it could be your employees or both, in fact. And if we take that case in the tsunami situation, we had a spa director that was literally walking back from the spa to the island along the pier, was hit by the wave, washed across the top of the palm trees and across the island and way out 50 meters out to the other side of the island. Fortunately, no ill health, no injuries, but of course, psychologically, a lot of an effect on something like that. So we gave her unlimited sick leave, was in communication with her all the time, and then gave her an all expenses paid holiday to her place of her choice before she came back to work. And of course, that meant not only a great deal to her, but it meant a great deal to everybody else who was associated with the company, that you would take that kind of care over people. And I think time and time again, you have to show your awareness and your care for primarily your employees, because they will then show that care to the guests. So hopefully that does help answer that question.
Thank you. Before jumping to the next, could you also travel back memory lane and remind us where you were 2008, 2009, when the subprime crisis hit also, and everyone was thinking, okay, no more travels. It was a big
yes.
shock to the system also.
So I know exactly. I was with Mandarin Oriental at the time, but I'll give you one very good example of that and good leadership in a time of crisis. Not by me, but by the CEO of Mandarin Oriental at the time. And the reason I say that is with such clarity is we were about to open up the Mandarin Oriental in Las Vegas at City Center, which of course was massive publicity, the big opening. And yet President Obama had declared that not only did you have to have austerity in the United States, but of course, Las Vegas was Sin City with all the MICE excursions and business trips that were taking place there. So we were opening up in a climate of extreme difficulty where hotel competitors were slashing the rates from $599 a night down to $99 a night. And our CEOs, and we were opening in that particular crime, our CEOs said, no, we're Mandarin Oriental. We will maintain our prices. We will maintain our clarity. We will ride through this crisis on the occupancy level. We accept we will suffer, but we will ride through this. We will continue to deliver the service standards and the expectation our guests have. And when the market comes back, we will prosper. And of course, we did exactly that. And I can give a very good graphic example of that. A competitor hotel decided to slash their rates. What does that do? It brings in a group of people that would never normally come to your hotel. It means that the people that do come to your hotel are not likely to return because now you've downgraded it to what their expectations are. And I think it cost them around about $25 million in repairs and lost items and stolen items that this new market that came to said, wow, we'd never get a chance to stay in a place like this. Let's take some souvenirs with us, even if they are screwed to the walls. So I think that was excellent leadership and excellent commitment and confidence by our CEO. And of course, it worked. The hotel did very well.
Thank you.